Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Beacons Are Lit, a Lord of the Rings podcast. I'm the host, Mike Marbach, and today I'm joined by Kelly Conrad.
Hey there.
Matt Guerin.
Hey there.
And Stacey Lyons.
Hey there.
Hey, dude.
We are
here. We are here to talk about the Two Towers. This is our second episode covering the Two Towers of what will probably be 8 or 9 episodes.
God willing.
Yeah, and at the end of the Two Towers run, we're going to give away a prize. We're going to give away a prize to somebody that emails us and lets us know they exist and that they are listening, or to somebody who has left a review on Apple. Unless Spotify also allows for written reviews. Just email us at hello@xroadscomedy.com. Let us know you're listening, or leave a review on Apple iTunes, and then email us and screenshot your review and let us know that that is you. All right. And
Grand prize goes to the first person to let us know we're not speaking into the void.
Yep. All right. And we have no news. We got no news. I like to do the news from the mark, which actually is in this episode, which we're going to be talking about that moment. What news from the mark?
Instead of news, I have a question for you guys. I've been watching the extended editions on HBO Max.
Same.
I also have them on DVD, but it's easy to pick up where I left off streaming. Do we think that Amazon is going to try to acquire the rights of these movies at some point?
They might, because if I'm not mistaken, the film rights and the video game rights are already up for sale. And
how much we talking?
In the billions.
A few check. Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the bills.
A few billion.
Because I do remember that there was I want to say like a Kickstarter, a GoFundMe for like all of the fans to unite to get these rights. And how the hell you decide?
That's a great idea.
It is a great idea, but I guess it's the person who starts the GoFundMe and does writes the check, you know?
Wait, so Bezos doesn't have the rights anymore, or is that's only licensing rights? I don't understand.
They're a very, very confusing issue, which I am not qualified to fully discuss. I'm not fully
I am not
to talk
to say the word discuss.
But I do know that they are very complicated, and it's all the little bits and pieces. I think the television rights are one thing, and the film and video game rights are another. I want the video game rights. Give me the video game rights so we can make that Lord of the Rings fighting game we were talking about on the previous podcast, because that would be pretty great.
Dude, I gotta find out where I can play that. I gotta get that ported onto the PS4 or something. I need to play that bad boy.
Oh, the GameCube ones?
Yeah.
Or the EA ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good. Yeah, let's get those onto something, but let's make a new game. That's what I'm saying. With my newly acquired video game rights of Lord of the Rings. Yeah. How much money you guys got? How much money are you willing to kick in?
Like
what are you sitting on?
Yeah.
I was gonna say 100, but I wanted to see what you guys were gonna do first. I didn't want to be like that person, you know?
Yeah. I'll throw you a crisp 20.
Yeah.
Dollars.
I appreciate it.
Rights are as good as ours.
Anything helps.
$170.
Mike, did you play the Shadow of Mordor games? Not to go down a video game.
No, I have not.
Okay. They're fun, but you just want to be with the fellowship. You want to be back in that world, really, when you're playing.
Yeah.
At least
sure.
I do. It's a very dark game. You're like, give me some Frodo to lighten the mood.
There is a
Frodo
game coming out very soon.
Sam.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Did you hear me?
Sorry, Mike. What'd you say?
There is a Gollum game coming out very soon.
Oh.
From the perspective of Gollum, so you play
it's
that.
like level 1, you acquire the ring. Levels 2 through 140, you are in a cave, just trying to catch fish and survive.
Yeah,
I love that.
It looks pretty cool. It comes out pretty soon. I don't think it's titled yet, though.
It'd be cool if like Smeagol slowly starts to creep in, and the things that you're able to do start to change as the story develops.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm just like pitching ideas.
I mean, I think you have a good mind for video games, and that's another reason why we should maybe try to get the rights to this.
Get those rights. All right. I got to get a steady job first then. All right, let's get on with it then, shall we? So last we left, poor Theoden was under the spell of maybe Saruman. Something's up. Something's up. Yeah. Something is up with Theoden for sure. And then we had the shots of the orcs and the fellowship running a lot. And then we have that they run as if the very whips of their masters were behind them.
We hate it.
I hate that. I've never booed a line before. And this isn't my first line I'm going to boo.
Yeah, there's more.
I think I know where you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Spoiler, they're all said by Legolas.
Yeah, there are a few, which again, I will go on record as saying I like them. I like those lines.
What
I
is
can get
up
behind them.
with you?
But there is
I could get very behind them.
Aragorn has one that I am always taking takes me out a little bit, like in the way in which I feel like Legolas is for all of you.
Yeah, we've talked about it. It has no other mouth.
You cannot wield it.
Not
Not
enough
enough
time.
Say it.
Not
Honestly.
that one. All right, so we pick up Merry and Pippin. The orcs are tired. They're like, oh, can we take a rest?
We're not going no further. We have a breather.
These guys do
Are we
not
there
have
yet?
the bodies for ultra marathons.
Long distance running.
They
No.
truly don't. They're too stocky. They're too heavy. They all run like they're marching. I mean, it's just not conducive to.
Well, I feel like
And they're
the
wearing a bunch of
Uruk-hai are.
gear.
Mhm.
Yeah, they got the gear for sure, and they're carrying hobbits. To be fair,
They're not drinking water. We know that.
No, they're
No.
drinking orc goo.
They're
yeah. If I don't drink
drinking
enough
mud.
water, I doubt the orcs drink enough water. Just guessing. Yeah, so they're all
They're exhausted.
very, very tired, and Merry has that line. I think we might have made a big mistake leaving the Shire. Yeah, I think so too.
Question: how have Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli not caught up to them by now? Because like they were really only like 40 minutes behind them. And suddenly, and it kept stretching out to like days and days. I mean, when they took Merry and Pippin, like Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli were not long after them. And they
Maybe
seemed
Gimli needs more
fast.
breaks.
Yeah.
Than an orc, than an
yeah.
Uruk-hai.
That's a good
I
question.
mean, yeah, it is a good question. I just think they were running as if the very whips of their, like they were just running
Yeah.
so fast.
Yeah,
They were
evil
running
gives
so fast.
Speed
Right, he
to
does-
these creatures.
Yep.
Sets its wit against us.
Yeah, I think you got your answer, Stacy.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, so it was
Do we
more
need to
comment
say
of-
more?
You know,
Passion.
Legolas's lines are unnecessary evil. They give us valuable information. and
That's
they're
true.
really
They
bad
answered
with it.
the question that I had. So thank you, Legolas.
Yeah. Yep. And then they're in there. The trees are groaning as the orcs chop them up. And then you have the one orc. I'm starving. We ain't had nothing to eat but maggoty bread for 3 stinking days.
Pretty good
That's
impression.
actually really spot
then-
on to that
Pretty good.
guy.
Yeah. Where can we get some mates?
Now we know
I
what
feel
Mike
like
does
They're
in the
fresh.
shower.
Yeah, he does strictly Uruk-hai impressions in the shower.
Yeah.
I feel like the one who was like the maggoty bread guy, that looks like a cousin of Lurtz, right? Like maybe
For sure. Yeah.
they're related to Lurtz. They both have that like
From the
really
Lurtz line
chiseled,
of the Mordor
face-
Lurtzes
face structure.
or the Isengard Lurtzes.
He
The
does look
family
like
Lurtz.
Lurtz. There is one that looks like the poor man's Lurtz.
Yeah, poor man's
Yeah.
Lurtz.
Yeah.
I'm dying for some names though. Give me another alerts. Like,
I
yeah,
know.
I mean, we kind of get a guy at Helm's Deep, but I don't know if we ever learn his name. But he becomes kind of like the focal point for.
The torch bearer.
No, it's
The one who
guy-
climbs on top of the rock
Yeah, the guy on top of the
and
rock.
like roar yells.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think he becomes like our face for the Uruk-hai in that battle.
Yeah.
Do we know that that's different than the one who won't let them kill the hobbits now?
Well, they all died.
Well, they all get
Oh,
slaughtered.
True. Oh my god,
Yeah.
so true.
Stacy.
Yeah.
Stacy, I'm
Probably
Oh,
don't
sorry.
need a name.
God, I'm sorry. I'm done.
Yep.
Plus, they look nothing alike.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm going to change it to 1 star.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants maggoty bread, let alone for 3 stinking days.
Yeah.
Whether you are orc, Urukai, or human being for that matter, no one wants it. But I'm curious. Well, we don't need to have that question just yet. What about their legs? They don't need those.
Oh, my favorite part of
tasty.
that exchange is the implication that orcs know how to do leg amputations and cauterize them while keeping the rest of the body intact and alive. That's my favorite part of this, is that
I'm
they're
telling
so
you.
confident.
It begs the question: are there orc nurses? Are there
There's gotta
orcs
be.
Surgeons.
doing field dressings and
There's
stuff?
it goes back to the whole orc education that Saruman has put in place.
Who do you
There's
think was the orc Florence Nightingale?
Or Clara Barton. Which one is it? I can't always get them confused.
Probably the one who poured the draft in Mary's mouth, right?
Probably.
Mm.
Yeah.
Administering medication.
That's as sweet as the orc I get.
I feel like their medical practice is basically Old West. Is like rub some dirt on it.
Yeah.
That's the extent of it. Just put some dirt on it or
Put
burn
like
it.
a dirty rag over it and just wait it out.
Yeah. I kind of feel like they would just like wrap it up in some like moldy rags and
While the hobbits bleed out.
I think, yeah.
Probably
I'm not
also
so
do it now.
confident that the hobbits would survive what they think they would survive.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they're really concerned about it, but they're probably also like Isengard's only like a day or 2 away. We'll cut their legs off. We'll cauterize the wounds, buy them like a day or 2. That's all they need.
Yeah, you just call up some orc first responders to the scene, and they take care of business. It's all covered in first aid class in Saruman's orc school.
And no one pays
yes.
anything. They have universal health care in Mordor and Isengard.
Yeah, it's a socialist country.
Yeah.
And then you have the moments where the orcs are just discussing the plot of the movie. This is more or less carrying something valuable. What is it? And then it's nosy, and then just kind of keeps pushing through. Just give me a mouthful, just a little bit, and then gets a little too rough, and then it gets chopped up, and then we get that famous line. Looks like meat's
back on the menu, boys. And then there's that amazing roar, like where they all like raise their like it like makes this really wild sound that
if you listen
exhilarating.
real closely though, you can hear one orc in the back's like, what's the menu? What's the menu, sir? I mean, I like meat,
I want one.
I'm a vegetarian. Is there an option for me?
Is the menu also eatable? That's what I would like to know about it.
It's not enough orc for that entire crowd. I want to say
No,
that.
not nearly enough.
Especially
Unless they can
not the
also
way
get
they're-
sustained on blood.
No. And I mean, hobbit legs weren't either. So, I mean,
no,
it's an upgrade from that. But
they're really like tossing guts up too. They're like throwing around
They're
like
messy eaters.
sausages.
Yeah, like zombies.
Yeah. I
Finding
forgot that
those
they eat that
intestines.
way. I was like, oh, they're like really like animals. Like Urkai are like really part animals.
Yeah, they did not have table manners. in orc
Cafeterias,
school.
yeah.
What is it? Etiquette.
Etiquette class.
Charm school. Yeah, looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. So they know what menus are, and they're happy about it. What else is on the menu? I guess not the maggoty bread.
Swordfish.
That's not going to be swordfish. Yeah, maybe some swordfish. They got swordfish in
clams,
Middle Earth.
mussels.
Yeah.
Sure. I guess anything with meat.
Probably. I
That's
mean,
probably the
yeah.
go-to.
It sounds like they have some standard of taste because if maggoty bread's not good enough for them, but raw orc is, honestly, anything. There could be so much up. There's a wide variety of things that could be on that menu.
Yeah.
I bet they
Those
eat
are
a
some
lot of
snobby orcs.
rats.
Yeah.
Like if Isengard has rats because it's in the woods.
Do you guys? Yeah, could be definitely rats. I was thinking, do you guys think orcs eat Urukai? Urukai clearly eat orcs. Does it go? I don't know.
I think,
Both ways.
Yeah, I would say yeah.
yeah, I think so. But it would be more like a hyena situation where if it's dead, or
Right.
they have to
They'll
do
like
it in
eat
a
the
pack.
scraps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know. I'm just curious. Like, what else is on this menu, and
Yeah.
what the situation? Yeah,
Is this
like,
what takes you out? Is this the moment that takes you out, Mike?
No. We'll get to that in a little bit.
When have they gone to a restaurant? Where did they learn these references?
Yeah, this is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
He also says boys, right? Like,
Yeah.
would they
They're
even
gendered.
be saying that? Like, that seems very like
Looks like meat's
contemporary
back on the menu, dudes.
colloquialisms. Yeah. Bros. Looks like meat's back on the menu, dude.
Bros, dude. Oh, meat's back on the menu, bro.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, my friends.
I also
Well,
love
see,
that.
my friends would make more sense than boys. Boys implies like you're coaching like a pee-wee hockey team or something.
Yeah, and it also there's like a level of like camaraderie there. Like, let's have a beer and shoot some darts while watching the game, boys. Like,
Yeah.
One of
They
the,
might
like,
as well all be
most
holding Bud
around-
Lights, and that's like a
Yeah.
Bud Light ad.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
You want like
Yeah.
the arms around the shoulders, like they take a picture together, like just a couple boys out and down. Like,
Isengard's not ready for us. We're gonna tear this place down when we get there.
There's also an air of superiority amongst the Uruk-hai too, because there isn't one of the Uruk-hai that says we had nothing to eat but maggoty bread for 3 stinking days. Like, what are
Yeah.
they? What is Saruman serving over there? I'm just curious. Just curious what's going
I
on.
know
here.
that. Is there a baker on site? Is he sending out?
yeah.
Where
Well,
is-
he does have that sick pantry full of goodies. I wonder if he just gives them like his spoils from that.
Like, do we think like a baker in a baker cart rolls up like every Wednesday and Sunday morning and like sells Saruman like bread and pastries and stuff, and he like keeps it and gives the.
I think
stale
they all
stuff
do
to
it
his
together. I
guys?
think
Possible.
they get together like the dwarves that we see in The Hobbit, and they just kind of sing songs and they kind of like throw plates, and it's all very.
You know what it is? It's probably one of those neighboring man colonies that like support him, that provided
Sure.
him with his goods.
You think that
Yeah.
they're like teaching their trades, or
You're
like
talking about the hill people? You
I'm
think
talking
that's
about the
people?
like the hill people.
Oh, the guy who actually cut his hand open.
Yes,
that
maybe
was
they're
actually his baker.
They're-
Yeah.
they're farmers, and you know they grow their produce, they farm the animals, and they make maybe like
They were though,
deliveries,
but not anymore,
occasionally.
and that's why they're pissed because they got pushed in the hills and they can't grow shit in the hills because the hills are all forests.
yeah, you can't homestead
have
in the
eyes.
hills.
Yeah.
The hills have eyes, and that's what we're
Yeah.
here.
That is the answer.
And on that,
I
we'll
also
move
just
on.
want to say really quick, I love how
Nah.
much the performances, the orcs and the Uruk-hai are like, just like, I feel like there are London actors like wet dream. Like they just can't wait to like do these accents and just go full on,
Yeah.
just like broad character.
So
like,
much vocal
Oh my
work.
god! You
Uh,
know
We get
that the
some
one
meat.
who was like chasing down Merry and Pippin all the way into the forest. You know that he had a watch party for all his family and friends for
Mhm.
this role, and they all showed up and they all told him what a
What about the
fantastic job
lads?
he did.
The
You know what I
lads,
mean?
the
Like he
lads.
gave it 100% in that role. That guy
Mhm.
also needed to stop monologuing before he was going to kill
Mhm.
Merry and
Every
Pippin,
moment.
because every time
Classic
he did,
mistake, yeah.
yeah.
No, it's gonna save you now.
But it is true. I think, and I feel like I've mentioned this before, but that is something that separates this trilogy from others, which is like, oh, these small characters, they're not just sheep. Like they are in a way, but they have personalities. They're all unique.
Mhm.
You can like
Yeah.
remember each and every one who like has lines and has a moment, but they look
Mhm.
different. They sound different. They have personalities. Like
Yeah.
it makes it so much more alive and less like
yeah,
boring and stupid.
Mhm.
there's like
Stupid.
there's like politics involved. There's like hierarchies.
Yeah.
Intrigue. Yeah. It's got it all. All right, we'll move on to A Red Sun Rises. Blood has been spilled this night.
So there it is.
Yeah. That one sucks too.
Also, just
Yeah.
like
Am I alone?
unnecessary, and also I think it's got to be an extended cut add in, right? Like it's just Orlando. The sky looks totally different than what we
It's
see.
not.
Like
That's theatrical.
Is
That's
it?
yeah.
Wow. Just just an unnecessary like little.
That's very theatrical. Yeah. My whole thing is like, who are you talking to? Like, no, I think
Fucking
that's the thing that
Aragorn.
annoys me is that he's just like, he's like monologuing to nobody.
I
This
really
very heightened language. It's like, dude, chill out. No one's listening. And there's like a mission.
I feel like what happened was they realized how few lines Legolas had in the first movie, and they were like, "Oh, now he's in a pack of 3. We have to give him something to do." But like, they couldn't make him just chat. Like he has to.
Yeah. I'm also kind of with Mike in the sense like this stuff never really like bothers me. It's fun to dissect on like a podcast when I'm watching. I'm just like, oh, I'm just happy to see more Legolas. I'm happy to see more of like the Fellowship. Some of these people get some time. But Kelly, I also agree with you. It's a like if it sucks. Like, it's a bad line. It's also trash, but it's also trash in the fucking best movie ever. So yeah.
I mean, of course. And it's fun, I suppose. And I didn't always
we can have our fun.
we can have our fun, I guess. They never bothered me before, but the more I rewatch them, the more I think I just zero in on Orlando Bloom. He just sticks out so much to me, like, as I continue to watch these. So I think that's why I'm bullying him. I'm bullying Orlando Bloom. And
It's also because if it's just now starting to drive you crazy, it's going to be at like the top of your mind. In like a few more rewatches, it's going to wash over you again. And
maybe, and then
like,
I'll find someone else to bully.
Yeah, and then a few more after that, it'll pick back up, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, that line is."
Well, in like 2 seconds here, I'm anxious to hear your thoughts on a Legolas moment coming up here after the riders show up. So
and I'm fine with all of it. I think it's all the elves talk in a heightened sort of way. I'm cool with it. And then we get speaking of Matt, we get the riders of Rohan circling, fresh off their slaughter, and but then we get that line, riders of Rohan, what news from the walk?
So cool.
Great. They all turn around so well immediately.
Like, it's so
there's not
visually.
a mess. Like how
Eomer has such a large following. Like a lot of people left Edoras, right?
probably like a general, or at least close to, right? So he probably commands a lot of people.
Yeah, he had that whole group looking for Theoden.
Yeah.
And and he is royalty, I guess.
Sure.
I guess I kind of forget.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Matt.
I was because any sensible person that sees Theoden would be like, let's maybe follow the guy who looks well.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I always forget. Yeah. I forget how many riders there are. And we're reminded of that again at the end with Helm's Deep. But this was a nice little taste of like, oh shit, there are a lot of these guys, and they like killed the Uruk-hai with like no problems.
Well, I think they lost 2 men.
They lost 2 men, sure.
Which is I mean, pretty good in terms of numbers, considering Uruk-hai would have had weapons.
Yeah. I don't know why I think this. Maybe it was like in the book or something, but I think the Riders of Rohan are also supposed to be like the elite of the elite of.
Oh yeah.
Seems like
And if they all have their own horses, because they are like the horse riders, right? The Rohirrim.
Yeah.
Then I mean, they are absolutely like the top
tippy
tier.
top.
Yeah.
Tippy top horsemen. There's that cool move when they're slaughtering the Uruk-hai where that one guy like turns around and shoots his arrow.
Thank you. I wanted to bring it up. That is that is so cool.
It's so subtle.
Yeah.
But it's just awesome. It's what you go ahead.
They because he does 2. He does like 1 and like we see the orc get taken, and then he like quivers another one and turns around, and it's just like so impressive looking.
It is. It's the one thing you need to see to be like, oh, these are men who essentially they're like the equivalent to like Huns. It's like, okay, they like live on horseback. They're all like expert riders and fighters. And that's the one scene where you're like, oh, okay, that's what you are. That's your like culture.
See nearly enough of these men in this movie.
No. I could do with a lot more here.
A lot more. Like a lot more.
Yeah.
2 quick things. I think I forgot to mention that Merry and Pippin crawl off. And then are kind of snagged by that they don't need those orc. And then we get that battle with saved by Eomer and the Riders of Rohan. The horse moment where he nearly hits Pippin or Merry. I think it was Merry.
It's Pippin.
Or it's a Pippin. Yeah.
It's Pip.
And Yeah. And then it cuts. And then we get that moment with the red sun and the blood has been spilled this night. Red as Rohan circling.
Ooh.
Red as Rohan, what news from the mark? What business does an elf, a man, and a dwarf have in the Rittermark?
Oh, I
speaking
love
of
Sounds
the
like a
Rohirrim,
joke.
A good joke. I was like, this is
Sounds like a
start of
really good
thing.
I was going to say, speaking of the Rohirrim, there is that anime that is coming out in 2 years, which is War of the Rohirrim. So there's going to be a Lord of the Rings anime film that is coming out that is specifically centered on the Rohirrim, which I think is pretty cool. So
Cool.
there's
That's
your news
awesome.
from the mark. Right.
Oh,
So
sweet.
yeah,
Yeah.
what business does an alpha man and a dwarf have in the Rittermark? I give up.
Yeah.
Quite.
This opportunity for a joke. I feel like they
Mhm.
squeeze jokes in random places and could have gotten one in there pretty
Tell
easily.
me your name, horseman, and I shall tell you mine. Cut off your head, dwarf.
He did-
If
Oh,
it
he
stood but
dismounts.
higher from the ground.
He dismounts to say that line.
You would die
Love
before
it.
your sword fell.
He gave his spear to like the person next to him. He was just like, hold
I don't
my
need this.
spear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold my spear.
Hold my spear. And then he got down.
Carl Urban may be like one of the best cast people
Hot it.
in movies.
Yes.
I feel like. I mean, a hot, yeah. We could talk about that all day.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's so
He's
good
so
in
hot.
this.
Yeah.
And you
But
know
also,
that
like, he
the
just
rest of them were probably super hot too. And we see them for a total of like 8 minutes in this movie.
Yeah.
Missed
Give me a Rohirrim calendar.
Yeah.
it's too hot.
Give me a spin-off. Show
Done.
me what they were doing between then and now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shirtless holding up an orc head.
I think you said just orchid, but weird. But you said orc head.
He's holding up an orchid. You know, showing
But
their
Carl Urban is such a
sensitive side.
just seems like such a tough guy. Like immediately seems just so competent. Like you immediately buy him as like a commander of this army, and he's just. And he's kind of scary too. Like you don't want to mess with him at all. He's
Yeah.
so-
No.
He's like his face is both rugged and gentle. He like has that
that
balance.
really like pointy chin, but
yeah,
like
and like that nose,
Defined
he's got like a
features.
sharp, subtle nose, good brows, like incredible
excellent brow.
brows. Yeah.
He's what Boromir could have been.
Mm,
Mhm.
yeah.
you know what?
With a
Maybe.
little support.
Yeah.
And then Eomer updates Aragorn on Theoden, gives him the download. And,
Can I tell you my favorite part of that is when he's like, Theoden no longer recognizes his friend from foe, not even
Mhm.
his own kin, and takes off his helmet as
Yeah.
if that's supposed to be like, you recognize me now.
Yeah.
What if they were just like, who are you?
That-
It doesn't
I also
help.
love that that's the signal for everyone else to raise their
Yeah.
spears. They're like, all right, he took his
Mhm, it's
off,
cool.
we're
Yeah.
He's
He
cool.
told-
them
Like
who
that
he
line
was,
too.
Still no name.
What did you think though, Kelly? Really quick, because this is the Legolas moment we almost skipped over, where he defends Gimli. I
You will
forget-
die before your sword fell.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty
you
good, and
know.
then
I love it.
I love it. I love the way he
love it.
stands up to
Fellowship.
Gimli. It's the first time I feel like we really see Legolas like I'll die for Gimli. Like I think that's great.
Yeah. I think
It's awesome.
it is a very cool line. It's probably one of his cooler lines, if not the coolest. But I still think his delivery is weird. I'm getting so picky because it's hard to deliver
You're
curt
dug in.
lines like that. You know,
She's
like
dug in.
I think he did a good job with this one. I'll be honest. I
Okay.
don't like the very whips. I liked this one.
yeah.
I think he finds his stride as the movie goes along a little bit more in terms of delivery, especially when they start giving him like people to banter with instead of just like reciting sonnets, you know?
Mhm.
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, I thought that moment was his delivery is so insignificant compared to the moment defending Gimli, a dwarf. Like, what? And it is a cool line. So yeah, I guess you could say I'd give that overall an 80%
Oh,
for
that's
grading
high.
Legolas's
That's high.
lines.
B
That's pretty
minus,
good.
right? You know, it's pretty
Yeah,
good. His
not
first
bad.
movie. B minus, big
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, just that line as a whole, I'll get back to you.
Oh yeah, I understand. yeah. But in that moment, he did okay.
In the moment, he did okay. Yes.
Which takes us to the White Wizard is cunning. Walks here and there, they say, as an old man hooded and cloaked, and everywhere his spies slip through our nets. A little monologue-y. Little elevated.
Just tell them what you mean, Eomer. Tell them who you are. Tell them what's going on. Like
I
everyone's
like
He's a
got
little
riddles.
cryptic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also been through a lot. He's probably like, he's going through something. He was
He's
just
a little
Spanish.
jaded. I
30.
think he's a little, yeah.
The battle lost 2 men.
Yeah,
And
they're
then-
asking about Merry and Pippin for sure. If they've seen them. 2 hobbits. Did you see 2 hobbits with them?
They were a bit
I don't know.
small.
Hey, Gimli, thank God for
They were
Gimli.
like
He
children to your eyes.
cuts to the
Yeah.
chase. You know what I mean? He's not like, did you see 2 things that shouldn't have been there but were? Like I'll just
Two
cut through the
hobbits.
bullshit. Ask about the hobbits.
Did you see 2
Yeah.
hobbits with them? Yeah, we left them
You say
alive.
that, but then you get an entire cast that does that in The Hobbit, and we don't like The Hobbit.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
balance. We need
It's
both.
true.
Left
It's true, it's true.
none alive. And then he gives them horses, heads out. Do not trust hope.
It is forsaken of these lands.
He whistles
Mhm.
and the horses come, and then he mounts back up and leaves. He does everything so cool.
So
Oh, he's so cool.
I didn't even pick up on how he whistles and just the horses come. It's not
Yeah.
people delivering the horses.
Yeah,
He
he calls
the
them
horses by
their
name.
names. Yeah, and they're like, yeah, we're here.
Freaking rules.
He's so cool.
I love
Yeah,
Eomer.
horse lords.
I mean, they have, yeah, they like, I mean, I think it's true in the books, and I'm sorry for getting ahead of it, but like Theoden dies with this horse on him. Like their like relationship with horses is so deeply bound together. And they probably
Horse people.
train. Yeah,
Horse guys.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
horse
they're
guys.
just some horse dudes.
Horse boys.
That means
Yeah, they're
back on
horse
the menu,
boys.
dudes. All right. So then we traveled
so
to
the horse
you got
boys
more?
leave.
Yeah, the horse
No,
boys.
the
leave.
horse boys leave.
We traveled to the battle site with our boys, and we see a pile of orcs, filthy orcs, burning up. And Gimli finds one of the wee belts. Which I didn't know
One
if you
of
said
the wee
before.
belts.
One of the wee belts. One of the wee belts, Aragorn. And then we get that moment which I didn't know. Is this a moment that you're talking about before, where he kicks the helmet and he breaks
Yeah.
his toe?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that scream apparently is like right after that. So that scream is real. It's from pain. From I guess kicking the helmet and it broke his toe.
If you
Yeah.
ever, get on any sort of Lord of the Rings meme page, that's it. It's people talking about people. It's it's memes about people talking about that scream being real. That's like, if you're listening to this podcast, you know that that's true. That's like the one fun fact everyone knows about these movies.
I didn't, so that's
Yeah.
nice though. But yeah,
Matt.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay.
That's nice.
That's like not me, but
Not
cool.
well, I don't
I
really get
go on
into
those
memes.
pages.
I don't know much about memes.
Yeah, you're not a memer. I'm a memer.
I'm a
Well,
memer.
Matt, did you watch the special features on the
I did, yeah.
extended
It's on the
DVDs?
commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I've probably learned it and forgot it. That's like true of
Oh.
so much of my
It
life.
seems kind of like a big thing to forget.
It's also been 20 years.
Well, did you know the Dead Marshes were filmed in a parking
Okay.
lot and there's a green screen
Did
behind it?
not.
Okay, all right. So everybody's got.
Oh, okay. We could do this all day.
I
just wonder I wonder how far they got into the scene, like if he screamed and then it was cut, or did he continue with the scene? That's what I
I think he
don't know.
probably continued.
Yeah, he seemed to finish because it's all a oneer. He kicks it and then he falls on. The,
Ah,
That's
It's a oneer,
that's
yeah.
tremendous. I
my
mean, that's
toe.
really quite tremendous.
It's probably something where it happened because there is like maybe 2 seconds from when he kicks it and then screams. And it's probably one of those things where it started as acting and then very quickly became real once
Yeah.
the pain
I've
hit
broken
him.
my toe, Peter. My toe is broken.
Was
I
that your
think
Vigo impression?
I think it's interesting that because I think the scream, I guess, maybe feels authentic, but like that moment kind of feels it's hard to do the drop into the knees.
Yeah.
Getting from point A to point B to find the markings and do some tracking, which is what happens. He sees the tracks. A hobbit lay here, and the other. going through the whole thing. And I thought this was cool when they're cutting back and forth, or he's doing the tracking. They're showing exactly what happened. Their bonds were cut, and they head off into Fangorn Forest.
Yeah, I love
What
it.
madness drove them in there?
Like Sherlock Holmes, he figures out exactly what's going on. Like,
Oh,
Mhm.
it's insane. It's
so good.
wild.
I'm so into it though. I'm like,
He's really good.
Yeah, he
So
sells it. Yeah.
He's
he's a
really
tracker.
good at
They're
that.
running and then they're running.
Been
Yeah.
doing
Fangorn
it for
Forest
70
looks.
I like that. Sorry, Kelly, go ahead.
I ate my words. I was just gonna say that, and this is stupid. I actually don't like that I'm saying this, but Fangorn Forest looks so wild. Like
Mhm.
it just looks like such dense, dark. It
Yeah.
looks like the
Yeah.
Black Forest, like on steroids.
It
Like
looks
yeah.
gorgeous. It really
Looks
does.
amazing.
Like it really
it looks gorgeous, but
lovely.
horrifying.
Yeah. Well,
Like
yeah.
the contortion of the trees, and it's so
Mhm.
dark, and it just. I think the thing that sticks out to me is that it's just like it just starts. Like there's
Yeah.
such a stark contrast between like the rolling hills and then Fangorn Forest. It's
That's
pretty
so
cool.
like, don't you guys feel like that's so like fantasy, like a
Yeah.
fantasy series kind of thing?
Mhm.
Because especially like if you look at anything like a fantasy series, it's like this forest, like you have maps of things and then they'll be like blocked off forests. It's not like sparse trees getting thicker, dense forest.
Yeah.
It's like this is the forest.
Mhm.
And I kind of love that.
Very
Yeah.
breath of the
Oh,
wild.
I love it too.
Yeah.
I think they built a lot of Fangorn too. Like a lot of the at least shots that are like closer up are like just awesome set design. They spent like months and months building like trees that look photorealistic. It's awesome.
I believe it.
And it looks great.
Adam Taylor, is that the head of like the special effects department? I think his name is Adam Taylor. He looks like a wonderful little turtle.
Oh yeah, that I think I know
Turtle?
from that description. I think I know who you're talking about from
Yeah.
the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah.
Amazing.
He's
He's
got
amazing.
the like he's got like a really high New Zealand voice, like a really high nasally New Zealand voice. I feel like. But,
Yeah, I think so. Let me make sure that's him.
Let's all keep half remembering this guy.
We get Merry and Pippin, the orc pursuing them. They climb a tree. Oh no, Merry's in trouble. The orc's gonna get him. Then Treebeard awakens.
Mary's
And
in like
gives-
serious trouble.
He's just as good as dead. But then Tree awakens and the orc is basically like, oh no, like giving that
Yeah.
look as he like looks up and just waits for the Treebeard to give him the old smush.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
in terms of-
reaction, Billy Boyd's reaction to Treebeard, I think, is so good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So good.
I was just gonna say that might be my least favorite CGI moment. Like you
The
can
eyes?
just tell he's kind of standing on a platform, like with it when it just cuts to him from that one angle and he's like kind of acting and then like kind of falling. It takes me out for a second.
Yeah.
Richard
that.
Taylor. It's Richard Taylor,
Mhm.
not Adam Taylor. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
You made him a little younger there.
I think it was James Taylor, actually.
Yeah. He's seen
I
fire.
think it's
and he's
Taylor
seen rain.
Swift.
I think it was Anya Taylor.
Anya
Joy?
Taylor-Joy.
Joy. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. I love Richard Taylor. All right.
Treebeard is now alive and believes them to be orcs. Tree, I am no tree, which is the voice.
Of John
Rhys
Rhys Davies.
Davies.
Yeah,
That's
and
another
when
fun
you
fact
know
I like
that,
to-
You can hear it,
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
Guys.
but until you know that, I don't know. Would you have known it?
I didn't
didn't know it.
until I
I didn't
was
know it.
told.
I didn't know until I watched special features and
Yeah.
they
same.
told us.
Yeah.
But
They
what an
can't unhear it.
incredible voice.
Mhm.
That's such a
Yeah.
good, even though obviously there's like some effects done, but it's still like so rich.
Also,
I'm an ant.
some of his stuff, I feel like, especially later on, is like borderline indecipherable. You're like, what the hell?
Same
Especially
with
if you're,
Ghibli
like,
though.
yeah.
Ghibly's rumbly too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
White
fucking love
wizard
Treebeard,
will
though.
know.
Every time Treebeard opens his eyes, I get so excited.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I just can't wait for 2 hours from now, 8 podcast episodes from now when we get to the Isengard invasion. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so cathartic.
I love
Ants are
the
going
ants.
to march.
Yeah, there's something so wholesome about Treebeard. I think he he's like, I don't know, he's like such a good anchor for Two Towers. Like I feel like every time we go back to Treebeard, it you feel a little cleansed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He calms down stuff so well because he's so slow. He's just like a very patient scene maker. He's such a slow burn, but what a payoff, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he like gets to be like he's a like children's book kind of character almost. Like he's got that wholesome quality to him. Where you're like, oh, he's just like so nice. And then he gets to be the action hero at the end. Oh, it's so great.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I had a point. I don't know if I have.
We can come back to it. So the white wizard will know if they are orcs or not. And then they look at each other, Saruman. And then he drops them and we get that glimpse. We get that little behind the back, over the shoulder glimpse of Saruman.
Straightened hair, glowing, white wizard. Yeah.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes when we actually get the full Monty. Not quite. And then we have Frodo and Sam. And we've led you out. And then they're going to the marshes. Yeah, Martin. You led us to the marshes. We're going to do the marshes.
Gollum's so pleased with himself here.
Yeah. Yes, he is. Sam is none too pleased, though, of course.
No, Gollum is like,
we're going to talk about the marshes. And he said he knows the way. Orcs, orcs don't know it. Men's don't know it. Yeah, and it's break time, so they're eating some lembas bread while Gollum sucks down a worm like spaghetti, and Sam looks on, grossed out.
Yeah, he's had nothing but maggoty bread for 3 stinking days. He's hungry.
He's
got 2 personalities to feed.
He's also very ungrateful because they gave him a little piece of bread. Frodo's like, here, have some of this, and he's like, bleh.
Well, he can't have elvish stuff. Like he couldn't get the elvish rope touched to him because it burned him. I think the bread like choked him. I don't think he can handle elvish.
Eat hobbits food.
Sounds great.
I want to look up what's going on with Gollum and the elves.
Yeah, I don't know because he doesn't say I can't eat elvish bread.
But I doubt he would know that. You know what I mean? Like, I doubt he'd be like, what food restrictions do you have? Yeah.
I just assumed it was because it was so dry and he's used to eating raw fish and grubs. I just thought it was like dry. I mean, even sometimes when I have like dry food, sometimes I choke a little bit. So
yeah,
I can sympathize.
After 500 years.
We've all choked on dry food, am I right?
All choked on a saltine, a Triscuit,
doing the cinnamon challenge. I think after 500 years, his stomach and his body has just kind of changed a little bit and things he's just now intolerant of.
Yeah, I think there's also something to like elvish stuff that are like so much of what they make is like inherently like orc repellent, like their swords like glow and like there's I feel like there's maybe some myth stuff about like elvish manufacturing like being not friendly.
I'm on sci-fi.stackexchange.com and somebody asked this question.
The authority.
And somebody wrote, and this is the simplest because people get very into these answers, but someone wrote a simple answer, which is one of the footnotes in Lord of the Ring. I think it's in Return of the King. Return of the King states that Gollum's long association with the ring made him unable to bear the touch or feel of things that were elvish and or unfallen valor craftwork.
Yeah,
I think it is elvish stuff.
Yeah, I love that we're getting like this the source information. I just love our source here. It's great. I think it was from something. Thanks, random anonymous.
I'm quoting someone on Sci-Fi Exchange who thinks they're quoting Return of the King when they also agree with what I said.
Sci-Fi Exchange, the home of fantasy knowledge.
Yes, this echo chamber of a podcast.
Yeah.
All right. So we get the glimpse. We see Frodo and Sam. We've led you out. We're eating some lembas bread. And Frodo and Gollum are bonding a little bit over the weight of the ring, that it kind of the effect that it has on you, the power of the ring. And Gollum starts kind of getting closer, and there's like, "Don't touch me!" like having this
So
nice little
funny.
moment. That's my.
It's so funny the beat after that. Like there's a long hold of like dad just yelled at the dinner table vibe. Like it's just like we sit in it for a second before we cut away.
I drive a Dodge Stratus.
Yeah.
So then we get to the dead things, dead faces in the water.
Yeah.
Dead faces in the water.
Yeah, Sam is not having a good time.
No.
I mean, that bog looks messed up. Just
It
the
does.
word bog.
Yeah.
A bog sounds worse than a swamp.
I
Yeah,
agree.
right?
remember when they were going
Not
through
being a
that first
swamp.
one and they had the mosquitoes all over them? At least
Like, no,
that didn't
thank you.
seem-
I would
yeah.
rather die. Yeah,
Mhm.
it looks awful. It looks so
We don't-
awful.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Frodo he
And then he just
Face
decides
plant.
to go ahead and fall into the dead marshes.
he
Don't
face
you-
plants into the Frighteners.
Kerplunks, basically.
Don't you
All right.
wonder how Gollum knows that that's the case? Like, how many men has he lost before looking into the lights? How does Gollum know?
I don't know. Gollum, I
guess
feel like knows things. He's been around long enough where it's
true.
like,
Yeah,
sure,
just
He's
watching.
sneaky. He was tortured there for a long time.
You're
Word
right,
just
I
gets
bet-
around.
I bet he's watched people fall in
Yeah.
before.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably. And then
So can we talk about the effects once Frodo is underwater? How do we feel about these effects?
when we face plant into the Frighteners, which is
These Raiders of the Lost Ark era effects.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't feel good about them.
I
Yeah.
kind of like them because they're a choice. Like
Yeah.
they're bad, but they're also like stylish and like they're old timey, like crypty kind of like skeletons covered in cobwebs, kind of
Yeah,
look
rainy,
Yeah, I
ish.
don't think they're out of they don't take me out of like the scene. I think they're
No.
appropriate for what's happening, but I just don't like them.
They're Jackson's go-to zombie aesthetic. Like for
Yeah.
whatever reason, he wants them green.
Gotta be green.
They've got to be green.
Those green.
Slimer, that was the first ghost he ever saw in Ghostbusters. And he was like, I guess ghosts are green from here on out.
Got a green
honestly, that
shoe.
might be the thing that throws me off the most about it.
Mm.
Is like that it's green. I'm like, I don't understand why. I would just love to know the choice behind that.
It's
Are
otherworldly.
Oh my god.
True.
When Aragorn gets
I
the
think-
like undead souls or whatever, they're all green, right? Too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I feel like in all the fantasy like Diablo and stuff, like I feel like necromancers are always like cast in green shit. Like
Mhm.
so like necro and like dead and green kind of go hand in hand in the fantasy realm, I feel like.
Wildfire in Game of Thrones, that was all green, right?
Mhm.
Was that dead people?
It was wildfire.
Okay. Was it made from dead people? Are you
know
just
how
stating
else-
something that's
I don't know how else to
in the
explain this to you, man.
Okay.
It was wildfire.
It was
Alright.
fuel and made by
I'm
void
gonna go
trees.
look up sci-fi-exchange.com.
Yeah, can we look this up?
Stack exchange.
Can we look this up from someone who thinks they know the answer?
Why are dead souls green? Is that what I'm looking at?
No.
Is wildfire dead people?
Mike's trying to move us along. And
So
we
yeah, he falls
bogged
in.
down and
He
the
stopped.
falls-
He has stopped recording and is just letting us get this out.
Frodo kerplunks into the water with the dead spirits in the bog, and he's pulled out by Gollum. Gollum saves him, and Frodo is just like, "What you? But?"
Oh.
And then Gollum's just like, "I told you, dude, don't look in the fucking water."
Yeah.
And then he goes off. He doesn't wait for a thank you.
Yeah.
He's just off, just doing his
And
duty
Frodo's
as
so
Sherpa.
Frodo's so surprised. I just love that moment.
It's
where
like
he
a
just
weird
is-
meet cute.
Yeah.
It's kind of when
Yeah.
things start to change. It's when
Mhm.
like Frodo starts to, think Gollum is maybe not so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
Frodo
Yeah.
probably also worries about like what he's gonna become with the ring, and so if he can like see goodness in Gollum, then he feels like better about himself.
Better about his situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go to nighttime where Frodo is there, just kind of stroking the ring,
Petting the
Just-
ring like it's a
yeah.
little
Mhm.
hamster or something.
and then you have Gollum talking to himself about the ring. So bright. Yeah, I can't do it. Matt can do it though. So bright. Yeah. What did you say? He goes over to him, calls him Smeagol, and his face kind of lights up. a little bit there. Smeagol, yeah, that was me, sure. Yeah. And then you hear that sound, and it's Black Riders.
Oh, Mike, you've done it better before.
And it's this is one thing I loved about this, is the reveal of the Nazgul. How
2.0.
they show him kind of like bouncing, which this could be on a horse, but if he's on a horse, he's like, he kind of must know the way. And then they do that reveal, that pull outs of just, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
They're riding some fucked up dragons now.
The CGI is so good here. It's so good. You can see like the bones in the wings. It's gorgeous.
I thought they were dead. Dead? No, you cannot kill them. And then we get that rights on wings. rights on wings.
Gollum is distraught.
It sounds like a Meals on Wheels business.
Rights on wings.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it.
How much would you have loved to see like 6 Nazgul or like 8 Nazgul or whatever, like flying on these things, and then like the one dumb one back on the ground with a horse, like they wouldn't give him one.
Oh my god, he's walking,
falling into the bog. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Then we are in Fangorn Forest and orc blood. Legolas is monologuing about the forest.
Boo.
Lower your axe. They have feelings, my friend. The elves began at waking up the trees, teaching them to speak. Then there's that moment where Legolas senses something, the old Legolas Spidey sense.
Yeah.
And the White Wizard approaches. And this is the moment here that takes me out from Aragorn. Do not let him speak. He will put a spell on us.
Yeah.
Because
he's like a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. He sounds like somebody who just heard rumors, not who really knows about this stuff. It's like, oh, I heard,
He sounds like a child.
Also,
like a child who's scared.
Saying the words "he'll put a spell on us" is just so not just like he'll consume our minds. He'll take over our minds. He'll do this. He'll put a spell on us.
Yeah.
I wonder what we're gonna
do.
be.
Things that are unnatural.
I kind of had the opposite reaction.
Of course you did.
Oh, of course. No, just in terms of like, I'm like, oh, they can cast spells. Like wizards are so powerful.
Truly the opposite experience.
Yeah,
and then they show Aragorn like clenching his sword and Gimli holding up his axes, and they show Legolas stroking the feathers, the fletching of his arrow. It makes me so uncomfortable.
A little bit of finger work, yeah.
Opposite.
And to be fair,
I'm so in love with
that excited me.
I love.
Why didn't they just have him
battle with their special weapons?
Just have him draw the string back. Why have him stroke the fletching of the arrows? It's not going to do anything.
I don't know. It seems like it does. It's cool.
It's so creepy.
I like it.
Gives it more speed.
It's like he's just getting the feeling for the bow. He's just like,
no, stop doing that with your hands. I'm so uncomfortable.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, and to be fair about the "he will put a spell on us" line, they did just run into Eomer, who has said that evil is all over the land, and Theoden's Theoden's under a spell. So there's that. It's just the line itself, I feel, was just a little odd. It takes me out a bit, but I easily get past it because of what happens next.
I feel like it's in my head that Aragorn can't stop thinking about Eomer, not in like a gay way, but like in a like, oh man, that guy was super cool way. That guy was so cool.
He's definitely like, when I get to Minas Tirith, I'm gonna be just like just like him.
Yeah, I feel like he was. I feel like
sword.
Aragorn's not that impressed with a lot of people, and I feel like he was really impressed with Eomer.
Yeah. So then he will put a spell on us, and then make it quick, and they turn around, and everything fails. The White Wizard is batting away and breaking arrows, and he uses some power that we don't see too much of, actually at all, within the movie after this, is the heating up of the swords in his hand, because that could have come in real handy
And like a blinding light that he
And
uses.
yeah,
I'm sorry, he uses that constantly. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Like his
And
only thing that he reuses.
he is still blinding them, but we hear that voice, which I've seen the before or the behind the scenes where it's the mashing of the two, Christopher Lee and Ian McKellen. It definitely starts off almost exclusively Saruman, which is a choice I seem odd to me. I like it, but it also seems odd for Gandalf to be doing that.
It is hands down out of everything we've said before. This is the most dramatic thing Gandalf has ever done. He does this just to be a drama queen. It's so extra of him to be doing this. He could just be like, "Hey guys, it's me," and he does it. Dude, he pretends to be Saruman to shock them.
Okay, so Matt, go ahead because I have a tangent.
Okay. All right. First, really quick, let me just say, speaking of underused powers, they should have just used the cloaks in the dead marsh to hide from the Nazgûl.
Yes, thought of that too. Yeah.
Anyway, no, I forgot what I was going to say. Kelly, on to you.
Awesome. So the way that I see it is Gandalf has just died, right? Like he fought the most epic battle of his life, died, and like essentially came back to life as this more powerful wizard. I think he's earned a dramatic entrance, not unlike Beyonce at Coachella, right?
Yeah.
Like, did Beyonce have to walk down this whole runway through the crowd to get to the stage? It's like, no, but she can because it's Beyonce.
But she did.
My point was not that he shouldn't have done it. My point was he was just being extra by doing it. I don't think there's any other purpose to do that other than by making a dramatic entrance.
Yeah. So in this moment, within the film, within this world, Gandalf is blinding them, disguising his voice to make them think that he may or may not be the white wizard they are fearing. And then he's not, of course. The music, once it's revealed, when the staff comes over revealing him, the music comes up.
He has such a glow up, such a glow up moment. His hair is flawless. It's straight.
Yeah, it cannot be.
Looks so good.
And then they kneel, except for Aragorn, who's still standing. And he's
still afraid there's going to be a spell cast on him.
I thought you were Saruman. I am Saruman, or rather, as Saruman should have been, if we're being honest.
You're not Saruman. Why would you say that you're Saruman?
Yeah, either way, you're still not Saruman.
Also, when they call him Gandalf and he takes a minute and goes, Gandalf the Grey. That's what they used to call him.
What they call.
Are you telling me that Merry and Pippin 20 minutes ago didn't just call you Gandalf too?
That's exactly what I was going to say before I forgot.
He's just being a little bit extra right now. I'm in it. I'm into it. I like it, and I come to expect it.
It was his material. He broke it in on Merry and Pippin, and then he does the show.
This is type 5.
You got
I think this is more. This feels more like Peter Jackson being extra than Gandalf being extra. Like Peter Jackson's like, I've got this great twist, like mid movie, and I'm gonna fake the audience out so hard. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I just come to expect this now of Gandalf, that if like he didn't, you'd just be like, something's up. He's not feeling himself.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like if he came in with any less flair, you'd be like,
and he gets that reaction. Like he gets the reaction he's looking for. Like they drop to their knees, they're crying. They're something they can't believe it.
Wait till I show them the white horse.
And then he gets to recount more of the battle. So we're seeing more of the battle here with the Balrog. And he does that lightning sword attack.
Yeah.
Which I thought another one we didn't see ever again. Although there is light, so there's that. And I smote his ruin upon the mountainside.
Love that line.
And then it gets even more extra. Darkness took me. I strayed out of thought and time, and goes through all that stuff. And then I was sent back until my task is done.
Love it.
Then we have that moment. Gandalf, that is what they used to call me. I am Gandalf the White. Oh man.
I love that breath he takes. That weird like breath when he comes back to life. I'm like, oh, there's that Shakespearean training right there.
Yeah.
Like, so good.
We probably don't see that lightning attack again because didn't it like kill him?
That's true.
Killed Gandalf? Yeah, it might have Surely
Taking
played a part.
taking
Yeah.
all of it. Yeah. That, oh my
Mhm.
God, the CGI of that freaking scene. I know we keep saying it, but it's so good. It's
Yeah.
that him smiting the Balrog, falling down.
The Balrog falling off the tower is
So
beautiful.
cool.
It still
Right.
holds up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get a line which I very much enjoy, and I've used paraphrasing many times over the years. The coming of Merry and Pippin will be like the falling of small stones that starts an avalanche on the mountains. Then he gets called out by Aragorn. He's like, well, some things never change. You're still speaking in riddles. And then
Yeah.
also something is about to happen that has not happened since the Elder Days, which is another one I've used in the past.
Are waking up.
I
Which-
come to you now. A
The end's
turn
waking
of
up.
the
Let's go.
tide. Oh, it's so good.
And then goes off. They're standing by a field, and then we get that whistle, and you see Shadowfax galloping toward Gandalf. That is one of the mirrors, unless my eyes are cheated by some spell.
If this wasn't about Shadowfax, I'd boo it, but because it's about Shadowfax, I'll allow it.
Wow.
Shadowfax is the lord of all horses, and has been my friend through many dangers.
Where did they get this horse? Whose horse is this?
Shadowfax is running around.
Odds? I don't know.
He's just galloping about.
A wild steed.
Oh my gosh.
It gets the entrance equivalent of like a hot girl walking into a cafeteria in an 80s movie.
And it deserves every second. I would debate that Shadowfax's is hotter.
Absolutely. That mane, the tail, everything's. Whew.
It's so white. It is such a white
Bright white.
horse.
Yeah, I mean, talk about blinding. We got to talk about Shadowfax.
Oh my gosh.
That's Gandalf's true blinding white light. Am I right?
I had such a boner for Shadowfax. I was like so obsessed with that horse.
Are you right? Are you with me,
A
folks?
beautiful steed.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
how
Amazing.
they only had 2 horses for the 3 of them. Gandalf gets one. Gimli still doesn't have his own horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to
Yeah.
partner up.
Mhm.
Can't you just
Yeah.
imagine him like nudging Gandalf, being like, "Can you whistle again?"
Yeah.
I'd be worried about Gandalf. I'd be worried about Gimli on a horse by himself. I'd be like, get that thing a donkey, Get
Well,
that-
it's
Like a
get that
miniature
thing a
horse.
donkey. I just don't think well, you can adjust the stirrups where his feet fit, but I do think that's like a thing where it's like, oh, dude,
Oh.
your feet won't even like fit in the stirrups.
Doesn't he fall off a horse a little bit later in this movie?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When they're riding
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Eowyn.
And Eowyn like
Yeah,
brushes him
Eowyn.
off.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And that is where we're leaving this episode as far
Aw,
as
man.
story goes, with the arrival of Shadowfax and them heading with all speed toward Edoras.
Yeah. Something. quick and-
Edoras.
They ride as if the whips of their masters are.
They very much do. They are
All right, that's it,
flying.
those winners and losers, and then we're out of here. We will start with the losers. Stacy.
It was gonna be me first. Okay, I'm just gonna go
Gonna be me.
for the obvious choice here. Sorry guys, and say the orcs that got stomped or stabbed.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. Stomped, stabbed,
That whole
squished.
the herd of orcs, they just died in the meanest ways possible, and they
Mhm.
deserved it.
If they would have just kept going, it might have been a little different, but they had to
Yeah.
stop and eat. Or they might have just run right into them. I don't know. I
Yeah.
haven't seen the map. Kelly, who's your loser?
My loser for this is Frodo, because he fell into a gross swamp,
Yeah.
and it seems like he was like the reintroduction of the ring wraiths, like reignited his wound and therefore his trauma. So I think, Frodo, even though we didn't get him a lot this round, that sucks.
Yep.
And now he's going to be all wet walking through this marsh. Like, I can't imagine how uncomfortable those like wet corduroy hobbit outfits are. Wet.
Yeah.
Wool.
How much he probably
Yeah.
smells.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to know.
Ugh.
So yeah, Frodo's my loser.
Mm-hmm. Matt, who is your loser?
I'm gonna say Gollum is my loser. I think he's starving. He's so hungry. He's eating worms. Can't eat Hobbit food. And like Gollum, the personality, is just now starting to maybe lose out to Smeagol a little bit. Smeagol's starting to kind of become a more prevalent personality.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay. My loser is the orc that got stomped by Treebeard. He got a little too greedy.
Yeah.
Couldn't just let it go. And that was got the better of him. Greed got the better
orc
of him.
did so much tongue work. It was so gross. He was just all out there with that tongue trying to get after Mary.
Mhm.
Stop it.
Ew.
Yeah. And our winners, backwards, Matt.
I don't know if he's a winner within the story. I guess not. He lost 2 men, but he's a winner in our hearts. This episode. Eomer is just like showing up, just really commanding the scene, commanding the Rohirrim. He did kill a bunch of orcs and Uruk-hai, making the Kingdom of Rohan a little bit safer. So Eomer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Kelly.
Sorry to take 2 good ones, y'all, but Merry and Pippin.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. Go ahead.
I guess I could say one, but when I say one, we're just gonna think of the other.
That's why I let it go.
Merry and Pippin for not only escaping this gang of boys, but teaming up with Treebeard. Like, yeah, sure, he's boring, but I would just feel so safe. Like, I'd feel so safe being with this like giant tree shepherd. I'm just like so stoked for them.
Once he stopped with squeezing them, we didn't talk about that, how he was squeezing them.
Oh yeah,
talking, getting like madder and madder, and their reactions were so good.
Yeah, that's true. He was a little weird at first,
but he comes around.
Yeah, he comes around.
They come with fire. They come with axes. Stacy?
I'm gonna say Gandalf because I know he rehearsed that moment and I think that it hit. I think he got, you're right, he got the reactions he was looking for. Aragorn was stunned. He made his impression. He said what he had to say and he got Shadowfax. I mean,
practicing his Saruman in the mirror in the bathroom.
Everyone threw roses, like it was.
And he's a white wizard now. He got promoted.
Leveled up.
I mean, congratulations to him. That's huge. That's huge.
My winner is Treebeard. Because what an entrance. A definite nominee for biggest entrance, for sure. Comes in, saves a hobbit, and then saves 2 hobbits. And he's clearly got connections with the new Gandalf in town. And we know he has bigger things in store as well. So Treebeard.
Literally.
All right. That will do it.
So pleased with yourself for that.
That'll do it for this episode. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Kelly. And thank you, Stacy. And thank you all for listening. And again, let us know that you are, in fact, listening. Check out the episode notes for ways to do that. Bye-bye.
Bye.